And I started off doing work in Tanzania that was education-based. I was in Tanzania studying this educational model called Ujamaa, or Education for Self-Reliance. And I was there really trying to understand more about this educational philosophy. Spent almost a year there studying what worked and didn't work with the philosophy, and I just stumbled upon this whole concept of skin bleaching. I was actually on the local daladas, that's what they call it. It's a local bus. It's a passenger bus for about 20 people, but they fit 60 or 70 people in the bus. So you've got people hanging out of the windows, you're just cramped in there trying to get from point A to point B. And I just happened to be on this bus and was cramped down, staring at my feet. Couldn't wait to get off of this bus. It was so hot, and I remember seeing a woman's toes. She was a Muslim woman who was dressed in a black buoy garb. Okay, it was from head to foot. She had a hijab around her head, and then her entire body was covered in black. And what I remember most significantly was staring down at her toes. She had sandals on, but the joints of her toes were really, really dark, almost the same color as the garb that she was wearing. And it was so odd that I just kept looking at her feet until the bus came to a stop and people got off the bus. I could actually, sit up, look around, and see her face. And on her face she had huge welts, blisters and boils that made me question, what is that? Why does her face look like this? It was so starkly odd that I asked some of the other people that were on the bus with me what it was. And the one Swahili woman laughed and she said, "Oh, that's Kuji Chabua, she's bleaching her skin." Okay, and a lot of developing nations, these bleaching creams have significantly high levels of poisonous agents in them. In the United States, they won't allow manufacturers to produce creams with hydroquinine higher than 5% unless you're under the care of a dermatologist. Okay, so if you go to like CVS or Walgreens, you can easily find things like Natty Nola and Ambies. These are different types of bleaching creams. But if you want something that has really high levels of hydroquinine, which is a bleaching agent, and other types of lightening agents in them, you have to go see a dermatologist and actually be under the care of that physician. In developing nations, you've got products with agents all the way up to 8, 9, 10% in them. And that puts the user at risk because they're not under the care of any sort of medical practitioner. The creams are very toxic, and then they also include things like mercury, lead, and other types of highly toxic chemicals. 3 years ago, I was in Tanzania, and I was there for a year at the time. And I went to the post office to pick something up. A family member had sent me something, and I was standing in line to get my package, and the woman right in front of me was picking up her package from customs. And so when you go through customs, you have to have your box searched. They open the package, they want to see what's inside. I mean, this woman she was receiving from the floor almost to the ceiling, packages, boxes and boxes and boxes of skin bleaching cream that had come from, I don't know, maybe somewhere in Europe or somewhere in the Middle East. But if there were proper regulations in place, that would have been stopped at the border. They searched her package. I watched the whole thing. I was waiting to see what was going to happen. They searched her whole box, told her to pay the little fee that you have to pay, and then she went on her merry way with all of her